With all the trillions of new spending proposed by the Biden administration so far, you'd think that there wasn't any spending proposal that they didn't like. Yet when it comes to our national defense, President Biden has shown he cares very little about increasing investment to keep our country safe. President Biden recently released his skinny budget, which includes a cut of $7 billion for the Department of Defense after accounting for inflation. President Biden's proposal and proposed defense budget is disappointing, dangerous, and a disservice to the men and women in uniform. What is more bewildering is that it asks for our troops to do more on a shoestring budget. It adds more duties, like combating climate change and other social priorities of the Democrats, to our already thinly stretched forces, and that's very, very dangerous. Regardless of whether these individual duties may be warranted, and for the record, I don't think they are, we shouldn't expect our military to do more with less. At a time when our enemies grow bolder and the threats of America are increasing, do more with less is the last thing we should tell them to do. These threats to our nation are real, and they're getting worse. Russia is likely preparing to invade Ukraine and finish what Putin started in Crimea. North Korea continues to test ballistic missiles. Iran is emboldened to continue its nuclear weapons program. And then there's China. In recent weeks, China has bullied Taiwan. They think now is the time to test the United States of America. China is building up their military to directly challenge the United States for global supremacy. Over the last 10 years, China's defense spending increased by $200 billion, while the United States of America decreased its defense budget $400 billion. We cannot let China continue to gain ground. In order to keep our country safe and protect democratic allies from Chinese aggression, we must stay well ahead of both weapons and technological advances. President Biden's defense budget is not just dangerous for America, it's bad for us all. Across our state, Alabama has more than 200,000 jobs supporting national defense. The economic impact of the defense sector represents more than 8% of our state's GDP. By underinvesting in defense, the critical work done by the servicemen and women at Alabama military institutions include Redstone Arsenal, Fort Rucker, Maxwell Gunner, and others could be seriously hindered. It'll set back our entire state's economy. I was just at Redstone Arsenal in Huntsville, where I heard firsthand from Army Material Command how badly we need to invest in modernizing our weapon system across the world. The best way to avoid a conflict is to have a bigger and better gun than the other guy. Most of President Biden's appointees at the Department of Defense support the 2018 National Defense Strategy, which is a comprehensive plan to compete, deter, and defeat our adversaries. This defense budget threatens our military modernization efforts and America's ability to provide combat-ready forces. We cannot allow anything close to President Biden's defense budget to become law. Our military needs to focus on winning wars, not planting trees. The people of Alabama and the men and women in uniform should know that I'll stand up to President Biden and the globalists in his administration who want a weak military. President Biden has gone on and on about unity and his reputation for reaching across the aisle. But ever since he came into office, his actions have been focused on appeasing the far left, progressive voices in his party. We saw it firsthand with the stimulus bill. Shortly after that, we get this loaded up, inappropriately named infrastructure proposal. It's not just about the spending, which is a lot, but it's about what's in these proposals. Progressive wish list items that are paid for by the American taxpayers, not the government, the American taxpayers, and are passed on party lines, not bipartisan. And that is where President Biden's priorities clearly lie. He is signaling that he's more willing to invest in the progressive policy items than the safety in our nation and the world. My colleagues and I are interested in working with President Biden on a bipartisan bill that addresses actual infrastructure. And we're ready to work on a defense budget that actually invests in our military and prepares us against the growing threats. We just need a president willing to unite rather than divide our great country. I yield the floor.